YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Big Lord TV. I'm back with another reaction video for y'all. I got another divorce court video for y'all. This one is called Blinded by Love. So we're gonna react to it real quick. I wanna give a special shout out for my new milestone. We just hit 100 subscribers on this page. I'm so excited and I can't wait for the future, man. So look, I got a new goal. It's to get 500 subs by the end of this year. So we definitely could do it. So okay, I'm not gonna hold you guys for too long. I'm gonna get started. We're gonna definitely get into the video. So yeah, let's get to it.
Miss Johnson says her fiancé is so shameless that he'll lie about anything, including having a job, having a girlfriend, and even the Army. Today on Divorce Court. All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Johnson v. Dean.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson and Mr. Dean. Welcome to Divorce Court, and welcome, everyone, to the case of Johnson versus Dean. This is a couple that's been together for 6 years, and they've been engaged for 3 years, but Ms. Johnson, quite frankly, doesn't know if she wants to walk down the aisle. She's concerned that the defendant's relationship with the truth is not one that is a long-term sustaining relationship for her. I'm coming over here to you. Ms. Johnson, why are we in court today?
Judge, I need answers. My relationship is a ticking time bomb and it's ready to explode. My fiancé is a liar, he's a cheater, and he has anger issues. If he fails this lie detector test, I'm definitely canceling our trip to Cancun for our wedding.
So you are ready to walk away?
Yes.
You heard what your fiancé says. What do you say, Mr. Dean?
Well, I'm here to save my relationship and keep my family together. I'm willing to do anything just to show her that this is nothing but a misunderstanding, you know? Hotel rooms already paid for, plane tickets, everything is already booked. It's non-refundable, so therefore we're still going to get married no matter what she says.
Well, I tell you what, that's the one thing that the woman does have a control over. If she doesn't want to get married, and unless you're talking about human trafficking and going down to Mexico, she's not getting on that plane. I know Ms. Johnson says we're going to be very serious here because it's serious enough for the two of you that you asked the court to order a polygraph examination.
Yes, ma'am.
But before we get to that, I'd like to really know how you all met and what happened to bring us to the point where you're in divorce court when you should be planning a wedding.
So we were co-workers. I was a waitress and he was a cook. About 3 months into us dating, we immediately moved in together. And then we got pregnant, everything was fine. He proposed to me, hotel, candle, everything, whole nine. And then after the second baby, it got toxic. It got crazy.
So I don't understand how it goes from 0 to 10 so quickly after the second child. To what do you attribute that change? What happened?
Well, you know, I love everything about her. She's funny, has a big heart, but then she told me a lie, so things changed.
She told you a lie. So let's get into what the specifics are. I'm gonna start with you, Ms. Johnson. You brought the case. You say that he can be destructive and show anger issues. Tell me what that's about.
So that man has serious anger problems.
What do you mean when you say serious? I want to know if
That's
you're
a lot.
exaggerating here. Serious anger problems.
Serious as in I've had my clothes bleached.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, I had my clothes
Give me
bleached.
the circumstances.
So I was hanging with my homegirls, we were drinking, talking about our friends. So I called him and let him know, you know, I've been drinking, so I'm not gonna make it home. I'll be home tomorrow morning. Why did I come home tomorrow morning and $500 wig, $400 clothes, bleached outside, evidence that I did present to the court.
I'd like to see the evidence.
As you can see, the bleach bottle is still on the wigs, so you know it was fresh. So all that money, all that time, gone.
That looks like a toxic mess. Why would this happen?
Well, I bleached her clothes because we had an agreement. If we went anywhere with any friends, we will always come home. Not only did she not...
By the way, that is extremely reasonable agreement.
Not only did she not tell me that she would be drinking, she never told me it was a friend's birthday. She left me with the kids and just never came home. So yes, I bleached her clothes and her wig. What else was I supposed to do?
Well, there were alternatives, okay?
Yeah, that was
There were
pretty
alternatives.
extreme.
There were
You're saying
alternatives.
you bleached my clothes because you didn't want to watch the kids,
Well,
which is crazy not not wanting to watch your own kids that I pushed out, and I can't go have a little bit of fun with my friends.
Well,
Be
you
real.
broke the agreement we had, so.
Okay.
We had no agreement.
Excuse me. Let's not.
There was never that agreement in place, but I do believe that my safety should have been valued. Would he rather me drive home drunk?
No, I would rather you get in a ride share and get you behind home because that's where your husband and your
Thank
children
you.
are. That's what I would
Thank
say.
you.
That's just me. But that's the agreement I have with my husband. Okay, I don't know what your agreement with your fiancé is. But I do think that if your man is expecting you home, you owe him the courtesy of at least saying, I'll be home via rideshare, or you might need to come get me because I've been drinking to excess. That's how mature people resolve problems. You talk to him and you don't destroy property. Mr. Dean, if you don't get your anger under control, that's gonna manifest itself in violence and you're gonna end up in jail. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Now I'm coming back to you on these lying things.
Yes, he is the liar. We had a job eviction situation where we were living with each other. We were living with another couple as well. And he was getting up, going to work every day, warehouse. He said he was working at a warehouse. I was working at the smoothie spot. Every day going to work. I look at his location one day and he's at a basketball court. You're supposed to be at work, sir. So I call, I'm like, what are you doing? He tells me, oh, I got off early. So I let it by. Okay, maybe you did get off early. 2 months later, pull up to my house. Eviction notice is on my door. On the door, yes. And I'm like, how am I getting evicted if I paid my rent? That's not the standard. So I go in and ask, like, what's going on? The friend that he was going to work with every day admits to me that they have not been going to work. They have been playing around, going to the basketball court, really having a fun time. So now I have an eviction on my name.
But wait a minute, hold on. Who was supposed to pay the rent?
So I was giving my portion to him, and I was assuming that it was going to get paid.
Tag, you're it, Mr. Dean.
Uh-huh.
What happened?
Well, I actually had lost my job, but I didn't inform her because I didn't want her to get upset. But
But you
You still
think
lied.
stealing her money and lying was not gonna make her upset?
Right. You still lied to me, though. You still lied to me.
Oh,
and now I'm
no, wait.
embarrassed.
A lie of omission is just as bad as a lie of commission. And that you omitted some basic facts, but more importantly, you put your family in jeopardy of being thrown out of the house.
Okay, guys, so what do we know so far about this couple, man? So far, a very young couple. They moved very fast, already have kids together or a kid together. The guy is very emotional. He can't control his anger. He makes his decisions based off emotions. Bleaching the girl clothes, that's very female, very a feminine move, because I know only females do that. And you know, as a man, you're just supposed to just sit with your thoughts and see how you can decide the best case of action. But him, you know, he just reacted with his emotions. So yeah, definitely I agree with the judge. Like, bro, if you don't get your emotions in check, you're either gonna be dead or in jail.
What was gonna be your plan?
Well, basically, my friend that was staying at the house with me I was supposed to be working with told me he had found a scheme he had been making money off of. So what I did was
He had found what?
a scheme.
Why you say scheme?
Okay.
So I took my last paycheck thinking I was going double it, triple it, put all my money into it, lost all that too.
Lost everything. Lied to me. You lied.
And
for a
so
scheme.
you put money that your fiance had given you to pay for y'all's rent so your family had a place to be with whatever money you had and put it on a scheme, and it, just as a scheme is, it was a scam,
Took everything.
and you lost it all.
Yep.
So now your family is facing eviction. So now at least I know why your fiance doesn't trust you, which leads me to these cheating rumors. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
So we had an incident where he was missing for 3 days.
Meaning left the house.
Yes, no
and you
contact,
didn't hear from him for 3
nothing.
days.
Yes, exactly right. Yes. So on the 3rd day, I finally got an answer. He tells me, oh, I'm at the hospital. I have a stomach virus. Okay, that's weird.
The phones don't work?
That's exactly what I thought. When he got home, I confronted him with that same thing. So there's no phone, you couldn't text me or anything? Oh, no, I couldn't. I was too sick, too weak, whatever. Next day, my mother sends me a Facebook screenshot of him in a picture with another female. So I get a little bit like, what's that? Go through his phone and realize that the entire 3 days that he was in the hospital, he was really in Vegas, which I also submitted evidence for. Yeah.
Ain't no way. So you ain't even slick.
Not at all. Not at all.
You took a picture of yourself at the airport when you were supposed to be in the hospital?
That's him in Vegas, yeah. When you were in the hospital with a stomach virus, right? You look like you're throwing up. You look real sick. You look real sick. Yeah.
That's actually just sad.
That is.
That's actually sad. So you wanted to get caught, right?
No, I didn't tell her about the trip because I knew she wouldn't let me go, like amongst other things.
Oh, sort of like the agreement that you...
Like, you financially irresponsible, fam. The fact that she's staying down for you like this, fam, is insane. Most diamonds would have been left, fam. You got other priorities, bro. You talking about she won't let you go. She probably ain't let your ass go because, you know, she know how you get.
You all had earlier on that neither one of you would stay away from home.
Right.
Yeah,
I just want to be clear on what the rules are. You told me what the rules were, so I'm now trying to apply those rules. And a hush fell over Jerusalem.
Well,
So needless to say, you went out to Las Vegas, and you think something happened while he was in Vegas.
Definitely. Who's gonna go on a trip and not do anything? We're all grown here. You know what they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Unless you posted stupidly on your Instagram story.
So he's emotionally unstable, he's financially irresponsible, and he can't slick cheat.
Well, the trip wasn't even like that. One of my friends
Like
bought
what?
tickets for everybody to go on a free trip to Las Vegas.
So if you're kicking it with a bunch of friends, why weren't there videos of you with your friends on your Instagram story?
Really
And
happy.
usually when you're doing your Instagram story, because I do know about these things, you flossing with whoever you supposed to be with, unless you with somebody you ain't supposed to be with. I'd have a suspicion. That's all I can say. But you say that's not the only incident.
That is not it. It gets worse.
It cannot get worse.
It can get worse. Tell me why he had me thinking he was in the Army. Yes, ma'am. So we had an incident where he was taking the ASVAB test, the test that you take for the Army. He was talking to recruiters. Next thing I know, he was ready for basic training, which is fine by me. I let him go. There was no contact, no phone call, no text, because I'm
how
assuming
long?
this is 2 weeks time goes by. I'm assuming that he is in basic training. I get a message on Facebook randomly, and my friend is asking me, isn't this your boyfriend? So I'm like, yeah. Click the girl's page that she has posted. She's posted this page of him shirtless with her on her page. Yes. So I go to the page, click the page, message the girl and say, is this your boyfriend? What's going on? While I'm doing that, I'm also calling him though. So I call him, he answers and says, oh, I missed the bus. That's why I didn't make it. Excuse me? It's been 2 weeks. You couldn't tell me not once you missed the bus. So I get the location because the girl actually sends me where they are at that very moment. I get there, he's there, she's there. We almost fight. And meanwhile, he's telling me, oh, it's just a friend, whatever the case is. But you can't be a friend if you're posted up shirtless, which I also submitted. Does that look like a friend? Does that look like basic training? Just saying. And this was posted on her timeline that she posted as if they were in a relationship.
Oh, no, because they were.
Yes, right.
Look, I can explain.
I hope you can.
I didn't tell her what happened with the bus because I knew how upset she would be. I knew how proud of me she was because of all the stuff that I had messed up with before. So yeah, I got stuck and eventually I found a friend to stay with, but I ain't never do nothing
Does
with
that
her.
look like
I
a
ain't
friend though?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this picture.
Friend?
Why are you naked with another woman laying down somewhere?
It got hot in there.
Hot?
Is this acceptable to you?
No.
Okay, just want to know.
Not at all.
Because I got that picture on somebody's Facebook. He'd have stayed right there with that woman naked. He wouldn't have had to come home. Sorry.
That's where I should have left you.
Yep, and
I have been faithful.
You haven't. That's a lie. That's a lie straight
No, it's
from the
not a
gates
lie.
of heaven. You're lying. You're lying.
So
Faithful.
this is one thing that we can resolve today. Because Ms. Johnson does not trust you, Mr. Dean, and you've not given her reason to trust you. That's just the truth. So I'd like to find out about these cheating allegations so we'll know if we even have a baseline with which to start. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's ask the expert to join us.
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mr. Yarborough. Please state your name and company affiliation for the record.
Certainly. My name is John Yarbrough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner. I'm a member of the American Polygraph Association. I've done hundreds of polygraphs for numerous law enforcement and other public safety agencies, as well as professional and private polygraphs.
And you have performed services for this court on numerous occasions. I find you more than qualified to perform those services in this particular case. As you are aware, Ms. Johnson and Mr. Dean asked this court for a polygraph examination with which Mr. Dean submitted to. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Fantastic. Mr. Yarborough, we asked you to put 3 questions to the defendant. You and your team asked Mr. Dean, during the time you were in Las Vegas, did you engage in sexual activity with anyone other than your fiancé?
That is correct.
What was Mr. Dean's answer?
Mr. Dean answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
Polygraph examination result indicated there was no deception to that question.
I told you.
Nothing happened in
I
Vegas.
told you.
That's a
I
lie.
told you. I told
That's
you.
a lie.
Excuse
You're
me.
so good at lying. You
I
probably
told you.
lied your way out of
I
that.
told you.
Excuse me.
You probably lied your way out of
Excuse
that.
me, you
What'd I
asked for the
tell you?
polygraph examination?
I don't
Let
believe
us
it.
get the results. Question number 2. Mr. Yarborough, Mr. Dean was asked, during the time you claimed to be in basic training, did you engage in any sexual activity with anyone other than your fiancé?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Dean's answer?
Mr. Dean answered no.
What did the test results indicate?
The polygraph exam results indicated there was no deception indicated to that question.
He did not lie?
Telling the truth again.
Can't be.
Mr. Yarborough, we asked Mr. Dean, because I wanted to put this to
I'm
rest.
gonna say one more thing, but before it's over, she has valid reason to ask for the lie detector test. I know I paused at a crucial moment before the last question, but like, fam, you lie with omission, fam. So there you go.
We asked Mr. Dean, have you had sexual contact with anyone other than your fiancé over the past 3 years?
3 years?
The question was originally, have you had any sexual contact with anyone other than your fiancé over the past 6 years? However, during the pre-test interview, Mr. Dean did have a self-admission that 3 years ago there was sexual contact with another person.
Are you serious? So you changed it around?
Actually,
You embarrassing me?
no, I actually admit I admire
No.
that 100%.
I don't.
I admire that 100%.
No.
Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that he did the right thing, but I admire the fact that you wanted to come clean with some aspect.
If he wanted to come clean,
Excuse
he would have
me,
came clean
Miss
to me.
Johnson.
No.
Miss Johnson, you have every right to say, I don't want to hear anything else, you can walk out. But what you're not going to do is continue to interrupt me, okay? That's inappropriate. Mr. Yarborough, when the question was put to him, have you had sexual contact with anyone other than your fiancé over the past 3 years, what was Mr. Dean's answer?
Mr. Dean answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination result indicated there was no deception to that question.
Thank you,
You
so
should have
very
did
much.
the 6 years. That's how you got out of it. You're manipulating things like you
I did it.
manipulated me, like you always
it.
do, like you're doing now.
I was
You're
being
always
faithful.
a manipulator. No, bro, I
was being
refuse to
faithful.
believe
That's
that.
all it was.
I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Yarborough. Mr. Dean, you want to talk about what happened 3 years ago?
3 years ago, we was pretty much on a break.
There was no
So-
break.
Excuse
we never
me,
took a
I'd
break.
like to hear from him, and if you don't want to, please feel free to go. Because this is not the way it works. Mr. Dean, would you like to explain, or would you like me to just go ahead and rule?
Just go ahead and roll.
Because you know what? You self-admitted. There's no question that you have been a liar. There's no question that you've been deceptive. But when it comes down to it, if you wanted to make a change, that was the time to do it, and I appreciate that. Because you said you came in here to try to show that you were changing, okay? And I appreciate your efforts. If your fiancé does not appreciate the efforts, she has every right to say, that don't work for me. She does have every right to say that. She has every right to feel that way. But at some point, you were going to have to say to this man, I'm either moving past it or we're moving on. And it is very clear to me that you both should move on because this relationship has run its course. Try to get your money back for Cancun. Ain't gonna be no wedding.
No,
Can't
I
believe
didn't.
you manipulated the situation.
I told you I was being
You're
faithful the
literally
whole
such
time.
a liar, bro. I'm not even doing this with you.
You see what the test
You brought
said.
me here to
You've been
embarrass
proven
me.
wrong.
You
You've
brought me
been
here to
proven wrong.
embarrass me.
You've been
And then
proven
you
wrong. That's
lied.
all
And
I
then you
gotta
got him
say.
telling you that you lied. Bruh,
At least I was honest about it.
whatever. You weren't honest about anything.
Yes, I was.
You weren't honest about anything. You lied like you always do.
I didn't.
And
You
I'm
see what the
tired
test
of it.
said.
I'm tired of the lying. Whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. That was funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. Shout out to bro for keeping his composure, you know, just staying calm. He needs to stay calm all the time, you know. There are times when he needs to get up, but you know, when it comes to when you're a girl, man, stay level-headed, bro. You don't want things to escalate even further when you get into your emotions, man. But yeah, bro. But hey, you wanted the lie detector test? You wanted the polygraph test? They granted your request, and now that you heard the results, you for the 2 questions, you was with it, okay? Told the truth, but when it came down to the 3 years, but I guess she wanted like the whole entirety of the relationship, so she wanted the whole 6 years instead of the last 3 years. So there was some confusion on that. Instead of them saying, you know, can I get the last 6 years, they said within the last 3 years, did you cheat? So I guess because he came out and said, yes, I did, not in the last 3 years, but in the entirety of the relationship, which is 6 years, when he admitted that he did cheat within the whole 6 years, probably like the first 3 years of the relationship, he probably did step out. And then, but the last 3 years that has passed, he hasn't. So maybe that's why it just went out like that. But yeah. Hey man, shout out to the judge. She made her ruling. I hope bro get his money back because they ain't going to Cancun. Hotel book, I hope he get his bread back, man. He said it was non-refundable. Let's see what he can do. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to y'all for watching, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, man.